What is going on, idiots? Kelly here, Kelly Land. Another beautiful day. We got another project for you. Let's get this white truck in the garage and then I'll show you what we're working on.
Hey there, how are you? Hello, welcome back.
How?
Alright folks, hello and welcome back. We're working on the old white truck today. Finally got a actual tripod here. Check it out. It's pretty nice. I got it on Amazon. Nah, my wife got it for me for Christmas. So we got the old 12 valve here. She's been a good girl. So we've decided to reward her with some parts. These, if you guys, I don't remember which video it was. If you watched it, you knew I had these. Some ARP Headstuds. They are ARP 2000, so they're not too exciting. We got these boys. I'll show you what they're for later. Pretty cool. Got some supporting stuff. Some of you might know what this is, and then based off of those, know what we're gonna do and probably why. Some catch cans, 3 of them, and we got our, oh come on, I should have had this stuff out already. Got some nice milled down rocker pedestals. I'll show you later. Some hose, we got some steel, we got a bunch of random stuff. The main problem here, this dipstick has always dripped oil down. See this oil right here? It's always dripped oil down on the injection pump, which is fine. But in recent weeks, it's gotten much worse, as you may be able to tell by the oil everywhere. Well, the fender's kind of dried up some, but this dipstick's broke, so I've got it jerry-rigged to try and keep it from blowing oil everywhere so I can at least drive it. But anytime you give her the beans, feed her some onions or whatnot, it blows the dipstick out and then proceeds to blow oil everywhere. Onto the fan, onto the hood, onto the fender. It's actually halfway dried up. There's some you can see. So we got a little bit of blow-by. Gonna look and see if the factory blow-by tube, crankcase vent or whatever is plugged. If it is, I'm gonna clean it, and then I'm gonna run it to a catch can, and then I have 2 of these vented valve covers that I'm gonna throw on and run them each to their own catch can, which is probably overkill, but that way I can kind of get an idea of where the blow-by is coming from later on. You know, if it's all coming out of the valve covers, it's probably valve seals. If most of it's coming out of the factory crankcase vent, then it's probably piston rings. I don't think anything's toast, because if you take the oil cap off and do your normal blow-by check or whatever, it doesn't show that it has any blow-by at all. So it might be something as simple as a valve seal, or it might be a vacuum leak somewhere pumping air into the crankcase. The vacuum pump on these trucks vents into the crankcase, so I don't have anything vacuum operated that's not working, but that doesn't mean I don't have a leak. So rather than find the root of the problem, we're gonna throw some Band-Aids on it. So that's one project. The other project is gonna be getting these head studs in so we can hold down all the boost, and then I've been waiting to bump my timing up until I get these in. I've been running at 18 degrees for quite a while, but I'd like to go more like 24. So we'll do that and then do the timing, and then I'll probably drain the coolant down to put the head studs in. And while the coolant's out, we're gonna put this bolt-in freeze plug on the back of the block. What else am I forgetting? Oh, that steel I want to build. As you guys can see, this rat nest here. This is for my fuel pressure gauge. It's an isolator. We got the harness for my FAS, and then janky fuel line stuff that I did before the YouTube channel was going. Rather than redo it, I'm going to build, I think, or attempt to build, a nice little sheet metal cover thing to hide all that shit, and then I can put my catch cans on that. Mount the catch cans to that. So, not sure what we're going to start on first, but let's get things going. Yeah, woo! So, real quick before we get started, or I guess before you guys get started, I originally wanted to do 3 of these, and I ended up just ordering 2 because I don't think they'll fit on the very back. I was hoping to run it on cylinders 1, 2, and 3, 4, but this set of injection lines right here is too tall. I started pulling these valve covers off just to test fit this. See that the valve cover has that recess there, like it's for an injection line, but it's you know, those lines there are too tall, so maybe that's for a different application on like a first gen or something with different injector lines, but that's fine. We'll run one here, one here. We'll run the stock valve covers on cylinder 1 and 6. I was going to paint these, but I really think they look really nice with this nice whole set Super 9 turbo from Instaspool Performance, whatever it is. Maybe we'll talk some more on that later when we get through all these projects. But yeah, we'll run a stock one. We'll run these 2. We'll run a stock one on the back. And I think instead of painting these, I'm going to try and clean up the factory ones to somewhat match this aluminum or coating, whatever the heck it is. And then I'm going to try and clean up that air horn too, potentially, so that it matches. And that should really brighten things up a little bit. Well, that didn't go very well. That it's tight fit back there on cylinder 5, and since I have the other one of these on 2 and 3, I couldn't get it to fit. The other thing that was going on, if you couldn't tell, was these gaskets kept wanting to fall off. So, handy trick on them. Shoot a little bit of your good tacky grease in there. That'll hold them on just fine. Get some grease on these. Get some grease on these, try again. My favorite part about this bumper, you can sit on the front of it. Use it as a little chair. It works nice for this front portion of the motor. You're still on your own with the back. But I'm just going to move this one back, since these gaskets seem to be wanting to stay on for me. Well, I lied. Well, I say. Apparently these ones want some grease now too. They got jealous. Hold on. Now I'm getting my nice aluminum covers all mucked up. How are you supposed to? Boy, I don't know. Alright guys, I went ahead and tested on this for a second. I got that to fit, but once I get it on there, I'm not going to be able to get number 6 back on. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cleaned up. I tested it out on this guy, and he works halfway decent. This is going to be much faster. I just got the flappy wheel on the death cutter, whatever. So I'll find some safety glasses and throw you guys on a time lapse. Alright guys, use the flapper wheel to take the paint off, and then that leaves you with a surface kind of like that. I'm going to hit it with some 60 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to hit it with that red Scotch-Brite. I'm not trying to get a polished finish by any means, but I would like it to not be quite as scratchy looking as that. Try to get it to more of like a machine looking finish, but I'll finish this one up and I'll get the other one done and I'll check back in with you. Alright guys, I ended up finishing this one up and I wanted to show you. Ended up grabbing the orbital. That's what that sandpaper disc was for anyway. I guess this doesn't look near as good on camera, especially with all my fingerprints on it, but hit it with the 60 until it was nice and uniform, and then just scrubbed it with that red Scotch-Brite until it started to feel nice and smooth. I think it's got a decent looking, like new aluminum look to it. I guess let's, it's definitely not fresh cast aluminum, but it looks a lot closer, so we'll go with that. I'll get this other one done, and we'll throw these babies on. Alright guys, we had a little trial and error there, but they are on. It definitely brightened up the engine bay a little bit, so I think I'm definitely going to pull this fella off next and get him cleaned up. Before then, we'll go ahead and throw these vents on top of these valve covers. So this is the top half of the valve cover vent. As you can see, they're kind of baffled so that they don't let oil out, just oil vapor. Little bag comes with an O-ring for that top half and the 3 bolts that hold it on. And they also came with a new style O-ring. It's almost more like a bushing, but it doesn't feel that soft until you start tightening this down. It fills this whole little recess in nicely. Should seal up good. Let's get them on. Well, guys, that escalated quickly. I just blew the sanding pad off my Dremel, so I'm gonna have to find where I stashed those at. Got a little bit more paint removal to do. I decided to whack that little weird triangle thing off. I've never liked that. I think this thing's gonna clean up just as nice as them valve covers. Eventually, it's just gonna take some more work here. But yeah, that's a freaking sweet little surprise bonus upgrade. I'm gonna have to clean this thing out pretty thoroughly, get all the metal shavings out of it, but let's get a preview. Yeah. That's looking way better. Get all that stuff cleaned up, get all my fingerprints off of it, get some kind of cover built over there. Let's keep on trucking. I'll get back with you in a minute. One thing about these vent covers that I keep forgetting to mention, so I'll just throw it in now. If you want to index them, so when you take them out of the box, it wants them to point off like that direction, which is fine. You could do something over there. That's just not where I wanted mine. But if you want to index them a different way, taking them out of the box with the discharge facing that way, there was a little metal bushing. They all three have a little metal sleeve in between the bolt and the plastic, I suppose so you don't crush the plastic or something. But the one in this hole was longer, and this hole is drilled out deeper in the aluminum, because that must be the way that they want you to put them in, and that way it gets indexed properly. But you can simply push them out. It was kind of off camera during that shot when I was doing that, but you can simply push them out with a screwdriver or pliers or something and put them in the hole that you want so that you can index them. So that one I've got going off and behind this one. This one's coming this direction, and then eventually I'll have them zip tied together or something to link up and run over here. Just a little helpful tip I picked up along the way, I thought I would share. About 3 seconds before it goes off. Actually, pretty neat when you put your ear to these things. You can hear the valve train freaking tippy tapping. I did feel a little bit of flow out of this one, not so much this one, but maybe, I don't know if you guys could see or not, there's nothing at the dipstick, at least when it's cold. My thought is the pistons would be the smallest when they're coldest, and the rings and all that, but for whatever reason at high RPM it starts getting some blow by, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Probably not, but that's probably gonna do it for tonight, guys. We'll pack it in, get back to this maybe tomorrow night, or I don't know, a month from now. Who knows? Nobody really. We still got head studs to put in, timing to adjust. We got a bolt-in freeze plug. I don't know why I did this first, because everything I touched literally tonight will have to come back off to do all of the other work, but we'll get that what do you call it, beauty plate appearance cover, something 9,000. We'll get that fabbed up and installed along with our catch cans, and then move on to the more exciting stuff. But it's supposed to be cold the next few days, so I don't know if it would hurt anything or not. I just don't feel comfortable doing the head studs when the block is really cold and the head bolts are really cold and everything. Sounds like a recipe for a bad fucking day. But alright guys, that's it for this one, or at least today. I don't know if this will end up being different videos or not, I guess. Jason? Maybe Jason knows. I don't know. But thank you guys for all the support. We just blew past 350 subscribers, so that's freaking awesome. I don't remember the last time I had something like this to say. I think maybe we were at 300, but really cool, guys. So thanks for all your support, and get back with you here in a little while. Thanks.